Yo, what's going on, guys? And we're hearing that Mike Budenholzer is emerging as the expected head coach for the Phoenix Suns. We touched on it on the initial video when they fired Frank Vogel and that I expected them. At this point, with all the candidates who are available, there isn't really any championship pedigree coach available besides Mike Budenholzer. And he's been working to assemble a staff. And as you guys know, Kenny Atkinson, Charles Lee, Taylor Jenkins, Quinn Snyder, I think that's everybody, and Darvin Ham are all former assistant coaches of Mike Budenholzer. Obviously, some of them are employed, others aren't. But just what I'm getting at is Mike Budenholzer is one of the most well-connected and well-respected coaches in the NBA. So expect him to have an all-star coaching staff. So let me get right into the report. Phoenix Suns fans, what do you guys think about this? This is smart. No offense to Frank Vogel. I do think Frank Vogel is a good coach. I just personally believe Mike Budenholzer is a better one, especially with them wanting to win now. The exact report goes like this from Adrian Wojnarowski: Mike Budenholzer emerging as the front runner to become the Phoenix Suns' next head coach. The exact report goes a little like this, and it says that Budenholzer is the Suns' target. Talks are expected to move quickly per ESPN. He's been working to assemble a coaching staff to return to head coaching, and the process is gathering momentum. And the reason why the Suns are operating so quickly is the sooner they can hire a new coach, the less unsettled the organization is going to be, the less unsettled Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal will be, and the less unsettled potential targets, either in free agency or via trade, will be, because they knew that there's a plan in place. They didn't waste time getting a new coach, and they're able to implement that new coach's strategy and vision that aligns with whatever the GM wants to do, which is James Jones, quickly. And Mike Budenholzer, if you guys have looked in the past, I talked about this earlier, Al Horford, Paul Millsap, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. Both bigs are rebounding bigs, but one is more of an interior inside-outside guy, while the other guy is an outside-inside guy, meaning one's, you got the Bobby Portis and the Paul Millsaps of the world, then you have the Al Horfords and the Brook Lopez's of the world. So those two are kind of like your 3 and Ds, then with your old school double-double guys. That's kind of what you're going to probably see them look for. Either they keep Jusuf Nurkic or they flip Jusuf Nurkic to try to find two bigs like that. We've seen that. And then he likes shooting on the wings. Pat Connaughton, Chris Middleton, Wes Matthews, Kyle Korver. Who else can we throw in there that, off the top of the dome? DeMarre Carroll, Jay Crowder at one point. So we know the type of players. And then obviously he likes, the 6'3", 6'4", defensive pass first, 3-point shooting guards, the Jeff Teagues, the Dennis Schroeders, the Drew Holidays, the Malcolm Brogdons. Was Malcolm Brogdon there when he was there? I can't recall, but you guys are getting what I'm getting after, or if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, you guys know this means that we know what type of players they're going to be targeting, especially if Budenholzer's there. Budenholzer is also a guy who preaches defense and is a very creative offensive guy. He's also coming from the Spurs coaching tree. So for me, I think all in all, it makes ton of sense. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of the idea of Mike Budenholzer becoming the Phoenix Suns head coach? Because I think it's one of the more interesting things in the world when it comes to like, hey, this is a potential coach who has a championship pedigree, a coach who knows a lot of other coaches, so they're going to have a good deep staff. That's something KD is going to mess with. That's something that Devin Booker is going to mess with, and I think it's going to really benefit a guy like Mr. Bradley Beal, who has struggled with injuries over the course of his career. And for me, I think they're going to be able to also, if they continue to invest in the second round picks, which is kind of like the asset of the future to keep the teams cheap, then Mike Budenholzer has had a history of being able to develop undrafted players and second round picks. So for me, I think this is a very, very good situation for the Phoenix Suns, especially if it's moving as quick as it's being eluded. I do like the idea. Again, my whole thing with Mike Budenholzer is that they just need to make sure that they're okay. The 4 dudes, obviously Grayson Allen, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. Yeah, that's right. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Grayson Allen. I feel like I'm missing some. KD, Booker, Bradley, Grayson Allen. Yeah, those 4. I guess you would want to keep Eric Gordon there. I don't think he's a huge loss if you do lose him, but those 4 dudes I think are the only untouchables because you're just not going to be able to trade them and get anything back in return that is of equal value. Now, Jusuf Nurkic, I think you need to try to, you're not going to get much in return, but if you can flip that into, let's say, kind of how, in theory, Steven Adams was turned into, what was it? They turned Steven Adams, I'm completely forgetting what they did turn Steven, they did turn Steven Adams into Jonas Valanciunas, but what did they trade Steven Adams for? I'm literally blanking on this. But kind of the Steven Adams deal, who's now on the Houston Rockets, and he was traded for, I think, Victor Oladipo. Those type of deals. My apology, I couldn't blank. And the idea is you find a deal where they're trying to dish out money. So, I mean, in theory, you call up the Charlotte Hornets, you say Jusuf Nurkic for Nick Richards, Vasilija Micic. Now, I don't think they can match salary, so they have to take less. And I think that is less. 18, you're taking in 16. Right there, you get 2 players for 1. Maybe you have to throw in whatever second-round picks. Dude, right there, you already have 6 dudes. You have a new center. You have your starting lineup set. I mean, not really. I mean, unless you want Micic to be the point guard, he would be your best ball handler at that point. But, yeah, you would then go, in that case, already, and you keep Eric Gordon. Holy crap. You go out and you try to get one of the point guards that are available, like a Chris Dunn, and then the other, free agents that are available, for example. Like, let's say you keep Eric Gordon, you do that Jusuf Nurkic. So right now, your starting lineup, if you go out and get one of the probably the cheaper point guards, but that are, a decent middle of the road guy at the point guard position, guess who those can be? Like I said, a Chris Dunn or I think DeLon Wright's going to be available. Markelle Fultz, Pat Bev, Kyle Lowry, Dennis Smith Jr. So let's say you go out there, okay, and you get yourself a Dennis Smith Jr., a Kyle Lowry, and a Spencer Dinwiddie or a Reggie Jackson. Right there, you have 3 dudes. You throw on the 4. Okay, let's say in that case, you'll start Mr. probably Kyle Lowry, and then that's Kyle Lowry, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Nick Richards. Then your 6th man at that point, if you did the Micic trade, you got your 6th man potentially being either Micic. Really, your 9-man rotation is Micic, who can play the 1, 2, or the 3. Eric Gordon, who can play the 1, 2, or 3, more the 2 and 3. Chris Dunn, who's your backup point guard. At that point, what else do we have? Did I say I guess at that point, you bring in, who else is on? You still have David Roddy. So right there, 9 guys. And I mean, that's team starting to get better. You go out and you get a backup center, all right? Like a Mason Plumlee, like a Bismack Biyombo, which you've had in the past. This team's significantly better.